Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I am your instructor, Richard Rost. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to build a searchable document index in Microsoft Access. Today's question comes from Catherine in Provo, Utah, one of my Platinum members. Catherine says, I have to keep track of hundreds of different documents for each client. Is there a simple way I could put all of these in a database and possibly search within the text of each document using Access? Well, Catherine, if you've watched my images video, you know that we really shouldn't store files inside of our Access databases. There's a ton of reasons why, and I cover them in that imaging video. But basically, Access, even though it has an attachment data type, it's really not designed as a file storage medium. So you don't want to put files inside the database. But you can put your files in a folder and store the location of those files in your database. And then you can make a button to simply click on it and open up that document. And you can copy the text that's in that document and store that in your Access database, because Access is really good with storing text information. So let me show you how to do all of this in today's video. Okay, before we get started, I've got some prerequisites for you. Go watch these videos if you have not yet already watched them. Start off with my blank template video. This explains how I built my blank template, which is the database we're going to be starting with. Here's the images video. Go watch this to learn how to display images inside your databases. This will also pertain to the method we're going to use for regular files. If you don't know what Access query criteria are, go watch this video. You should know what string concatenation is, putting two strings together. You should know what a wildcard search is, how to use the like keyword. You should know parameter queries. You should know how to get a value from an open form. And finally, you should watch my Intro to VBA class. There's going to be a teeny tiny bit of VBA involved in today's lesson, just a little bit. Don't be scared. All right, this video is only about 20 minutes long. It teaches you all the basics. You don't need to know a lot of VBA, just a little tiny bit, but you got to know where to put it. And this video explains all that. All of these videos that I just mentioned are all free. They're on my website. They're on my YouTube channel. Go down below the video, and you'll find a little more link. You'll find all the links down below. You can click on them. Go watch those videos. Then come on back, and we'll cover the searchable document index. Okay, so here I am in my blank Tech Help free template. This, again, is a free download. You can go grab a copy off my website. I'm going to minimize this for just a minute. Now I'm going to need some documents. I'm going to make a documents folder, and I'm going to put that on my desktop along with my database. I want the documents to be under the folder that the database is sitting in, and you'll see why in just a few minutes. And in my documents folder, what do I got in here? I got 3 documents, a PDF file, a text file, and a Word file. They've all pretty much got the same thing in them. I just copied my bio off my webpage, but each one of them's got a line that says this is the text version, this is the PDF version, and of course I've got the Word doc which says this is the Word version in it. Okay, so let's minimize this and go back to our database file. So the first thing I need to store my document index is a table. So let's create a table to store all my information in. We'll make the first field the doc ID, that's my auto number. Then how about a name for the document, short text, and then how about the file name? File name, that'll also be short text. Again, we're not going to store the file itself in here, just the location of the file name. But we also do want to put the document's text in here, right? So doc text, and we'll make that long text. Okay. Now, long text and short text are a little bit different. I explained the difference between them in my Access Beginner 1 class. Basically, short text can be up to 255 characters. You can do things like put it in a combo box. It's indexable. Long text is great for storing lots of information. And yes, you can search on it, okay, but you can't do some things with long text. But it's good for just taking a bunch of information and just dropping it in there. They're great for notes or things like this. All right, so let's save this table as doct, my document table. Primary key, yes, that's my auto number. And let's put some data in here. All right, now the doc name you can type in yourself. The doc file name is going to be the name of the actual file itself in the folder, which is going to be this stuff. Okay, now it's up to you whether or not you want to keep all your files in one folder or if you want to put them in subfolders or different locations. If you want to store the full path to the file name in here, you can. I'm going to say all my documents are in the same folder. It keeps things easier. Okay, so I'm going to put in here my PDF file. So let's come over here. I'll put this as the PDF version. All right, and the file name is just PDF file.pdf. Okay, document text we'll get to in a minute. Okay, then we got the text file and the Word file. All right, so I'll put in here the text version. This will be the text file.txt. And then, of course, we got the Word doc, which is Word file.docx. All right, so there's my 3 different files. Let's make a form to hold this information. It's better to work with forms. I like to put some sample data in my table while I'm building my database, but we don't want our users interfacing with the tables at all. So I've got a continuous form right there. Let's copy and paste that guy. Control-C, Control-V, we'll copy and paste. Doc-F, this will be my document form. Design view, come into here. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this ID. We don't need the ID on this form. Let's slide this over to the left. And let's first bind this form to the table. So let's go into Data. And we'll set the record source equal to doc.t. So now this form gets its data from my document table. All right, and we can bring in our fields. We'll put them right here. So go to Add Existing Fields. I don't need the ID. Only time you really need the ID is if you want to read it from somewhere else. Like if you had another form that was had values based on this one, you'd want that ID on there, but we don't need to see it. Kind of meaningless at this point. Remember, IDs, auto numbers, are not for you. They're for access to make relationships inside your database. You shouldn't care what that document ID is. All right, click, drag, drop them over here. I'm just going to delete these labels. Okay. Now, I don't need this unbound field. Let's get rid of that. Let's slide the document name over to the left, right there. Okay, and then we'll put our file name next to it. Let's put it right there. Oh, we don't need it to be that long. Let's go about that big. Now, the document text I'm going to put in the footer. Click and drag and drop it right down there. All right, shrink that up. And let's slide this over like so. You can make this as big or as small as you want it. I'll do maybe about like that. All right, bring this over like there. We're going to leave a little bit of room here for a button. And this label is going to be the name of the document. All right, copy, paste. We'll slide it over here. This is going to be the file name. Okay, let's save what we got. Save it. We can close that. We can close that. Let's open it back up again. Okay, looks pretty good so far. All right, let's make that document text on the bottom a little bit bigger so it's a little more prevalent. Maybe slide that down like that. Open this guy up a little more. And let's give it a different color. Let's make it, oh, I don't know. Let's go that. How's that look? Looks pretty good. Now, why do I have this down here and this up here? Well, this is a big field, and I want this to be in my nice short list. So the way this works is whatever record you're on in the detail section will be displayed down here in the document text. So let's save that. All right. Now, if I'm on the PDF version, I could come down here and type in this is from the PDF file. Okay, and if I go to the next one, all right, this is the text file. If I go back to the PDF one, look at that, see? It says this is still from the PDF file. These are the records up here, and this field is still bound to that record, right? But it's just showing you this field only down here. So this is the way I like to handle notes fields usually, okay, in my continuous forms. Now, what I want to do at this point is I don't want to actually have to type the text in there. I want to copy it right out of the document. So let's make a little button that we can put right here next to each file that we can click on and open up that document, okay? And this is why I wanted you to watch that Intro to VBA class. Real simple, one line of code. Oh, we're going to put a couple other ones, but you really only need one line of code. Here's my command button. Click on that. Drop it right there. Cancel the wizard, because what we want to do isn't in the wizard. And I'm going to put in here just the word open. And let's make it a little bit smaller. Let's go in here. 11 point's kind of big. Let's go 9 point. And I'm going to make this button nice and small, like right there. How's that look? Okay. All right, just like that. And let's change this button's name. Give it a good name. I don't like Command 8. I don't want Alex yelling at me for having bad button names. Open button. Open BTN. Okay, now let's put the buttons code in here. Now I know the file name is in this box. Okay, and the folder that file is going to be in the documents folder underneath the current folder. Okay, now the current folder is my desktop. So for me, it's C users Amacur. I don't know. It's Amacron's my company name. It kind of shrunk it up. Amaker desktop documents. That's the location of that file. But I don't want to keep having to type that in. All right, so we're going to use a trick to tell Access to look at whatever folder the database is in, and then just go to the Documents folder underneath that. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's go back to our database. All right, on our button, right-click, Build Event. This brings us into the code builder right there, right? If you get a little window popped up that says, what builder do you want? Always pick the code builder, and that was all explained in my Intro to VBA class. Okay, so now, right inside of here in my Open button click, this is the subroutine that runs when we click on the Open button, right? We're going to use the FollowHyperlink command. You might have seen in previous videos I call it, as you can type in application.followHyperlink, but you really don't need the application dot part. Just FollowHyperlink is enough. Address is where you want to go. Now, you can actually follow a hyperlink to a website. You can follow a hyperlink to a file. Okay, so we're going to use a file. Now, I could come in here and put in C:\\whatever, desktop \text file.txt. All right, but I don't want to do that. I want to replace that path with the current path that the database is in. So that is current project.path. All right, that's a special variable that represents the folder that your database is in. Okay, now after that, I got the folder. I want to tack onto that \documents, right? Now I'm in the documents folder under the database folder. And then where's my file name? Well, that's doc file name. That's the field in my form. And everything else that's on there, you can pretty much ignore. Those are all optional parameters. That's all we really need right there. There's the one file name, or the one line of code that we need to make this work. Save it, Control S, come back to your database. We're going to close this down and reopen it. Okay, now if I click on this, open, boom, there it is. It loads that file. Okay, if I click on this guy, click, and it opened on a different screen. Hang on. There it is. Just had to copy it over. It'll open up whatever. This, I don't have Adobe Acrobat on my machine. I just use my web browser. I don't need Acrobat. So it loaded up. I had a web browser window open on a different screen. I got 4 monitors on my desktop. So I just had to copy it over here. And then the same thing with our Word document. This will work with pretty much any document type, by the way. There's the Word document. You can put Excel files in here. You can put whatever you want in here. Okay. Now, how do we get that text into here? Well, that's just a matter of opening the document. All right, there it is. Click somewhere in here. Hit Control A. That'll select all the text in pretty much every program that I know. Control C, copy. All right, close that, come back here, and then just paste it in. Control V. And there's all the text that was in that document. Do the same thing with the text file. Click, Control A, Control C, close it, come down here, paste it in. And finally, the Word document. Open it up. And Word opened up minimized that time, right? Control A, copy, close it, and paste it in. Now you've got the text of each of those documents in your database. And now this is searchable. Now, is there a way to read that text in automatically where I can just click a button and have it pull in? Yes, there is. I'm going to be covering that in the extended cut for the members. All right, but as you can see, if you don't have that many documents, it's very easy to just copy and paste it. And now you can search all of this text and do stuff with it. You can add it to reports or whatever you want to do inside your Access database. Yes, I know you can search from Windows File Explorer. All right, you can do all kinds of search stuff out there. But you really, if you want to use this text for something, or to build a more powerful search index yourself, you can. And you can do it all inside your Access database. All right, now let's make a button to open this guy from back here. Design view. Let's just borrow. We can just use the Hello World button. We're not using it for anything else. I'll put it right up here. We'll call this Documents. Okay, how do we do this now? Right-click, Build Event. Now this guy currently is doing just status Hello World, but I'm going to say do command.openForm docf. That's it. That's all you need to open a form from a button. See, once you know the tiny little bit of VB code, that's a whole lot faster than running the wizard. Right? You can use the wizard, the command button wizard, to make a button to open up a form, but that's faster once you know how to do it, right? So now I can come over here. Let's close this. Save changes, yes. Open it back up again. I got a button up here on my quick launch bar to open up the main menu form. That's all that does. There's a macro for that. I cover that in the blank database video. Let's click on that. There's my documents. All right, I'm going to slide you over here. Save it there. If you move a form and then save it, Control S, it'll save that form's position. So the next time I open it opens up in the same spot. Isn't that handy? Now, I said this was searchable. All right, how can we search it? Well, let's start with a query. Create, query design. Bring in your document, T. And we're going to bring in all the fields and also bring in doc text a second time. Doc text is my long text field that's got the data in it that we want to search. But I want to bring all these guys back. But I don't want duplicates, though. I don't want to see, because if you run it right now, you'll see 2 copies of that field, right? There's docx, or doct dot doctext, and then field 0. I don't want to see it twice. So what we do is we simply just turn off the second one's show box. That'll hide it. Okay? I cover all this in my Access Beginner course, by the way. So now, the criteria down here is what you put in here if you want to find stuff, right? You watch the query criteria video, and I could put in here something like, PDF, like that, but now it's just going to look for records that have exactly the word PDF in it, which it won't find any. So I have to use the like keyword and say like, and then inside here, let me zoom in so you can see this better, Shift F2. What you have to do now is, let me slide this down. There we go. We go like, and then star, and then PDF star. Those wildcard characters says any number of characters here, any number of characters there, but it's got to have PDF in the middle of it somewhere. All right, so that's my like wildcard search criteria. Now when I run that, there's the record with the PDF in the document text. See that? That's your wildcard search. Okay, but I don't want the user to have to, have multiple queries to run for every different thing. So I'm going to use a parameter in here instead. So I'm going to get rid of PDF, and I'm going to do this. Watch this. Close that quote, and bracket, enter search text like that, and the star. So what's going to happen is whatever you type in here will get replaced. If you put PDF in there, it'll put it between the 2 stars. And there is how you do a parameter query wildcard search. And now if I run this, and I type in TXT, it uses that as your search criteria. Okay? But I also don't want my users interfacing directly with my queries. So I'm not going to put that there. Instead, I want to get a value from an open form. Maybe this text box right here. Let's do that instead. And these are all the concepts I taught in all those other videos I wanted you to watch. So let's put in here search text like that. And let's open up the properties for this box. Now, that's got currently set to a date. So we'll get rid of the control source. And we'll get rid of the format. And we'll name this thing, let's call it maybe search text. How's that? So the name of that box is now search text. Okay? It's search text on the main menu form. So I'm going to get that value, whatever the user puts in there, and I want to have that be the query criteria. So instead of enter the search text, I'm going to replace this with forms main menu F search text. And that's that other video that I wanted you to watch, which is getting a value from an open form name. See how I wanted you to watch all that stuff so you knew what I was doing here? All right. Okay, so let's close this. Let's save this guy now. Let's save this as my, how about doc search queue? My document search queue. I'm going to close that. All right, now come back out here. If you haven't already, save this, reopen it. Okay, put something in here like PDF. Now, you have to hit tab at least once. Because if you're still sitting on this field, it won't get the value. All right, you're technically still editing and it's dirty. But now, if I come over here and run doc search queue, look at that. It gets that value for the search parameter off of that form field. See? And if I run it again, right, txt, got to hit tab, and then open the query. Okay, there's your txt version. And yes, if it seems like I'm jumping around a little bit, that's because this is a tech help video. I cover these concepts a lot slower in my full course, and I go over them in the order that you should learn them, not jumping around like this a little bit. Okay, but now I also don't want to open up this query and use this every time I want to search through text. So wouldn't it be nice if when I opened up the documents form, it got that parameter from that query? All we have to do now is simply change where this form is getting its values from to doc search queue. Because, and I'm going to show you this because I like you. Watch. If I open this up and I hit documents with no parameters in there, you see everything. Because what is the parameter become? If that box is blank, it becomes like star blank star, or just star. Okay, it ignores it. Okay, but if I put something in here like PDF and hit documents, there you go. Or if I come back out here and put in Word. The other documents might have, there's probably the word Word in here somewhere. Okay, what do I got in the Word file? Okay, docx, if I put that in there. Let's put in here docx. Yeah, because I just copied my my bio off my webpage. I bet you Microsoft Word isn't. Yep, there it is right there. Word. Okay. And yes, in the extended cut, I'm going to show you how you can make another button over here to actually pull in this text from that document file without having to open it up and copy and paste it manually. But I got one more thing I want to show you. Ready? Ready for some bonus material? Wait. Hold on. Time for some bonus material. Okay? Now, Catherine, you wanted to do it so that you could have documents that were basically stored in each customer's record. Okay, so all we have to do now is make this guy relational. So if you haven't watched my relationships video, go watch this guy. Okay. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to the document table. Okay, we're going to go design view. We're going to add a customer ID. Okay, that's going to be a number of type long integer, default value 0. Now, everybody who's currently in here, you're going to have to give them a customer ID. All right, or not. They don't have to have a customer ID if you want to just see everybody. Okay, I'll go 1, 2, 3. So it's a document for my first 3 characters. Customers, all right, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, all right. Now, in your document form, you'll need a way in here to display who the customer is if you want. You don't have to, but we could put it over here, maybe a combo box. I've already got a combo box that's linked to customer ID. It's on my order form. If you haven't watched my order, my invoicing video, go watch that too. That explains how I made this form. All right, that's my invoicing video. Again, you'll find links to all this down below. But in the invoicing video, we made an order form, right? And the order form's got a combo box right here that we can pick the customer ID. So I'm just going to borrow this guy. No sense in reinventing the wheel, right? Copy, come over here, and then we're just going to paste that in there. And slide it over here, slide to the right. All right, delete that. And we got to kind of resize it a little, just a teeny bit, just a little bit. There we go. We'll copy that label, copy, paste, slide you there, and call this customer. And customer ID is optional. Okay. And if you look in the customer ID combo box, you'll see it's also got a default value, which is right here, forms customer F customer ID. So as long as the customer form is open, it will get its value from that form. Okay, so now if I close this, save changes, yes, close this, close this. If I still open up my documents form, you'll see who the customer for that document is. Okay, and if I clear this and do that, you'll see everybody's in there now. Okay, but if I want to add another document, I can come down here and put a different, I'll just put in here abc.txt, even though it doesn't exist. That's okay, and you can still pick a customer over there. Okay, if you want to make it so that you open this up from the customer form and only see that customer's documents, how do you do that? Well, go to the customer form. This is bonus material. Wait, hold on. It's bonus. I put the second bonus behind it, so it's just 2 bonuses, but you get the point. All right, so we'll make a button over here, design view. I'll just copy one of these guys, copy, paste, right? Slide it there. We'll call this documents or just docs, all right, whatever you want to call it. Give it a name. We don't want Alex yelling at us, so not command 30, right? We'll call this one, we can call this one doc button here too. You can have a doc button on multiple forms, okay? Right click, build event. Here we are in the doc button click. I want to do command open form, doc F, but I only want to show records where the customer ID equals the customer ID on this form. So it's going to be comma, chameleon, right now, comma, because we don't need those parameters. We just need the where condition, where customer ID equals customer ID. What that does is with a little string concatenation, it takes the current customer ID on the customer form, and it says customer ID for this record has to be the same as customer ID on the customer form. Save it, come back over here, close it, go back in your customer form, hit Documents, and there's just Richard Rost's documents. See? Close that. Come over here to a different person, James Kirk, Documents. There's Jimmy Kirk's documents. And notice the next record, the blank record, is getting its default value now from this form. So you can add more documents in here, and they'll automatically go on Jim Kirk. See? How's that? Did you learn something today? I hope you learned something. I hope you thought that was interesting. In the extended cut for the members, we're going to do some really cool stuff. First, we're going to make a button where you can click pick and pick a file instead of having to type in the file name. Okay, I know we've covered this before. It'll take 2 seconds. I've already got the code in the code vault. We're just going to copy it in. All right, then the new stuff. Here comes the cool stuff. We're going to make a load text button. Okay, what that's going to do is in the background, it's going to open up Microsoft Word. You won't even see it open. I mean, you can if you want to, but you don't have to. All right, it'll open up Word. It'll read in the text from that document and then copy it and paste it right in here automatically. So with one click, you click the load text button. It'll open up Word, copy the text, paste it in your database, close Word, and it's all done in VB Code automatically with one click. Okay, it's cool stuff. And this will work with any document type that Word can handle. Word can read text files, obviously Word documents. It can read PDF files, so you can use this to index your PDF files. All right, lots of cool stuff. And if you want to learn even more than that, I cover a lot more in my Access Developer Level 39 class. We'll actually index the individual words inside of that document. And you can see a word count of how many times the word always appears, for example. We'll set up an exception table so you can skip words like always or also and only see the important words. We'll do some more work with record sets. I'll show you how to find records inside of a table. Lots more included in my Developer 39 class. But the next step, definitely check out my extended cut if you want to learn how to use Word to pull in text from a text file, from a Word document, from a PDF file, and put it automatically in your database. That's in the extended cut. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut videos. Gold members can download the databases that I make in the Tech Help videos, and you get access to my code vault and lots more. So check it out. How do you become a member? Click on the join button below the video. After you click the join button, you'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks. Silver members and up will get access to all of my extended cut Tech Help videos, one free beginner class each month, and more. Gold members get access to download all of the sample databases that I build in my Tech Help videos, plus my code vault, where I keep tons of different functions that I use. You'll also get a higher priority if you decide to submit any Tech Help questions to me, and you'll get one free expert class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks, plus even higher priority for Tech Help questions, access to all of my full beginner courses for every subject, and one free developer class each month after you finish the expert classes. These are the full-length courses found on my website, not just for Access too. I also teach Word, Excel, Visual Basic, and lots more. You can now become a Diamond sponsor and have your name or company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown in each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. But don't worry, these free Tech Help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free, and click on the bell icon to select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Make sure you click the Show More link down below the video to find additional resources and links. You'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted, so if you'd like to get an email every time I post a video, click on the link to join my mailing list. Even if you don't want to become a member, feel free to donate to my tip jar. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got puppies to feed. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access. It's over 4 hours long, and I just updated it for 2021. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll include a link below that you can click on. And also, if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. Yep, that's all, $1, and it's free for all members of my YouTube channel at any level, even supporters. Want to have your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my tech help page on my website. You can send me your question there. While you're on my site, feel free to stop by the Access Forum. Lots of good conversations happening there. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course, YouTube. Once again, my name is Richard Ross. Thank you for watching this tech help video brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something today. I'll see you again soon.